reaching for the future, we sometimes fall into the past. As we gaze upon events that cannot be changed, our hearts grow bitter with regret. And you, my dear Sarah, will you encounter your past here? How will you choose to deal with that pain?
Are you sure?
Yeah, check it out. You can see the ground above us.
Oh, wow. So this is how Cocoon looks from the inside.
That's right, I forgot. This is your first time here.
Yep.
What is that?
Look out! Get up!
An arm?
Yeah, and not looking to shake hands, I'm guessing.
Hi folks, Fuzzfinger here. Let's continue on with our Final Fantasy XIII-2 walkthrough. So we're in the Bresha ruins, and immediately after the opening cinematics we'll be thrust into a boss battle. So immediately at the start of the battle, make sure you're in the slash and burn paradigm and just start hacking away at him. We want to stagger him as quickly as we can. A mini tutorial will pop up in a minute to explain wound damage to us. Basically, wound damage is where the monster that you're fighting takes away your maximum HP, so that even when you heal with a potion you cannot get to your maximum hit points again. For that battle anyway. Obviously all your hit points are restored at the end of the fight. Okay, so we've got cinematic action coming up, so be ready for those. And then in between the cinematic actions, just carry on hitting him with your slash and burn paradigm.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Visible giant.
Okay, so now he's staggered. By the way, you can finish him off a little bit quicker than I do here when he's staggered if you switch to the double trouble paradigm. I actually forgot to do that, but it is a little bit faster. And once he's been defeated, there is one more cinematic action that you'll want to do, so just be ready for it.
Hostile located. Engage at will. Paradox effect confirmed. Targeting Atlas.
That was exciting.
Guess it's over. Huh? It's the army! Cuckoo!
Friends of yours?
Attention intruders! Surrender immediately!
Cuckoo!
Now we've got control again, we just want to walk up to this person up here with the speech bubble above their head, and you can advance the story just by speaking to them.
Think they might have caused it? We'll soon find out. You're being detained as potential suspects in the unsanctioned activation of Atlas. Come with me, and no funny business.
We're being treated.
And now great, it looks like we're in jail.
It's just a misunderstanding. Stick to the truth and we'll be okay.
Okay, so to advance on this point, speak to Noel, and then speak to the soldier just outside.
What's up?
What is this paradox effect?
You remember the weirdness near your village when a meteorite fell? Probably the same kind of thing.
Once you spoke to Noel, you might just want to have to speak to the guard a few times in order to trigger Elisa, I think her name is, to turn up.
Why'd you lock us in here?
You're under suspicion of interfering with Academy business. You two came up on the Grand Elevator?
Huh? The Grand what? Sarah, what's he talking about?
He could be talking about the elevator that's supposed to connect Cocoon and Pulse, but it's still being built. It's going to be finished next year.
You're confused, miss. It was done last year.
Last year? Did we move forward in time?
I'd say 2 years have passed, at a guess. Since what was scheduled for next year has already been built last year.
Huh?
Is that you?
Hey! Watch yourself.
Thanks. Oh, Sarah! It is you!
You know them?
Uh-huh. Alyssa Seidel. I'm an Academy intern. I heard you apprehended our 2 observers, so here I am.
Observers? I hope we can forget about this little mix-up.
Okay, so looks like we're getting out of jail now. That guard was pretty stupid, really, wasn't he?
Strange world, stranger events, unfamiliar faces, an uncertain future. They speak of anomalies, of a strange energy that warps time itself. Things that shouldn't exist here are appearing near the gates. Things that shouldn't happen are happening. They call this phenomenon the paradox effect. And if you think about it, that term could apply to our existence in this age as well. Lightning, how will I find you when I don't even know when or where I'll end up next? Rain. Oh.
I'll supply you both with comm devices. Right this way, please.
Thank you for your help. I was just wondering, have we met before?
Oh, no. Sorry about all that observer nonsense back there. Lucky for us, that soldier was so quick to believe me.
Are you sure it's okay to lie like that?
Oh, don't stress about it. That guy's a pushover. Anyway, it is true that you two are important guests. Right this way, please.
So at this point, you just want to follow Elisa as she runs off. She's got the way marker point above her head, so that indicates we'll need to talk to her. and once you speak to her, she'll give you 2 items.
You'll need
The Academy Communicator is one, and the other one is the map of the Bresha
And
ruins.
keep it with you at all times.
So I'm curious.
Yeah?
Just why are you helping us anyway?
I saw you two. I saw how you got here through that thing.
What, you mean through the gate?
Yes, it is a kind of gate. It links to another world, doesn't it? Nice to finally have some clue what these things are for.
So basically, helping us out was almost like part of your research. But you still have questions.
I do have questions, yes. About the gate and about the paradox.
Yeah. But with Atlas throwing his weight around, the ruins will be closed off and there goes the chance to get your answers.
No, Kopopo.
No problem. We'll take care of that giant for you.
You will? Great!
Okay, now from this point on, if you enter the main menu, you can switch leaders. So the party leader is the person you'll control in battle, and the person you'll control out in the field as well. So if you want to change from Sarah to Noel, you can do so in the menu. For now, however, we're going to head round
I'm researching Atlas's power source.
head round to the south and then to the east, and then back up on ourselves, because we're going to find quite an eccentric character over here that we need to speak to, and collect that treasure chest there, because you're going to need that gil.
Chocobocolina! Welcome, get your traveling products here at Chocolina's Emporium. The beauty's all mine, but the products can be yours, but only if you show me the money. This might be a once-in-a-lifetime choco-amazing opportunity, so don't miss out.
Hi there. I'm a little overwhelmed and slightly confused, to be honest. So you run a shop?
So Chocolina is a shop, pretty much the only shop in the game. She'll follow us around the areas. Now, you might not be able to buy that first weapon that costs 0 gil, because that was what I got for pre-ordering the game. But you should definitely buy one each of the other weapons, since they're quite valuable upgrades at this moment in the game. One for Sarah, one for Noel. And then equip those before we move on.
Have a fantabulous day! Have you seen that? Someone sure wasted their time and hard-earned money making something that big. I don't like seeing materials go to waste like that, but hey, what can I do? I can open up my shop! That's what I can do!
I was just looking here because I thought we might be able to sell the weapons we're no longer using, but it doesn't look like you can sell your starting weapons.
Everyone is!
Now we've finished with Chocolina. For now we want to head up to the steps in the northeast part of this area, just here.
Why did you offer to stop
And we're going to reach a new area called the Echoes of Past, or the Echoes of the Past. And we'll be having random encounters again from this point, so just be ready for those.
And how can I take you to Lightning without those handy-dandy portals?
We've got a minor mandatory fight coming up as well in just a moment, but it is very easy. In your slash and burn paradigm, make sure you kill Kate Sith first, since he's actually a healer. And then focus your attacks on the Zwerg Scandroid. Some of the enemies in this game do have funny names. By funny I mean bloody weird. And look, there's a crystal. And we've actually looted those monsters. So from this point on in the game, we can actually have a third party member as a monster. Now, sometimes when you kill monsters, they'll drop crystals like these have now. Once you've collected their crystal, you can use them in battle as your third party member.
The untamed you guy.
What do you know? It talks.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Guide the Untamed?
Your power over monsters, Kupo.
Over monsters?
Now that you mention it, Lightning had monsters fighting with her in battle.
You can do the same, Kupo.
Okay. This power, can you show me how it works? I want to learn how to protect myself. Might as well start now.
Kupo?
Now each monster can only have one role. So it can either be like a Ravager, a Commando, or whatever else it might be. But it can only have one. And but you can have 3 monsters in your pack at once. So you can switch them mid-battle. So in our Paradigm pack we're going to put our 2 new monsters in. Kate Sith, who's a healer. And the Zwerg's Gandroid, who's another Ravager. So I've set my default paradigm as Relentless Assault, which is Noel as a commander, and then the monster Ravager and Sarah's a Ravager. And I've also put a paradigm in with Kate Sith as healer for emergency use. You can also level your monsters up in the Crystarium, but you have to have materials to do it, which we don't have any yet, although we will soon. But for now, there's not much we can do about that. Okay, we'll just speak to Noel here.
What just happened?
Looks like we're getting overlap from another reality. Atlas has disappeared into another world or another time, I guess.
Now we just carry on up the map. We're looking for a gate. And it's just over there.
Another gate, huh?
Speak to the nearby soldiers with the speech bubbles above their heads.
Open it, right?
Right. The key is something that doesn't belong this time.
Lots of unfamiliar monsters emerging. Scholars believe the paradox is a natural phenomenon. But that glowing thing has to be awake.
If we just go over here, we'll learn a new ability for Mog.
We had some supply stations around here. Then they sort of disappeared. Probably another paradox side effect.
Leave it to me, Kupo.
Now we can actually go back to New Bodham, where we was at the start of the game. Remember where we saw that fragment that we couldn't see because it was out of phase? We can actually go back there now and collect that. We won't do it right now since we're here, but in a future video we'll go and do that. Also speak to them here, because there's a couple of quests we can pick up.
Exploring, are we? I want to be careful in here. Someone spotted a seed in one of the tunnels, deeper in the ruins. We haven't seen a seaside cocoon for several years now. There's definitely something spooky going on here. I hope someone takes care of it soon. Think you can handle one of those monsters? Maybe you should just leave it to the soldiers. A creature like that shouldn't even be here. The paradox effect thrown in, there's no telling what it's capable of. Watch your step and be ready for anything. These are shambling monsters created by the foul seed, right? Just creeps me out.
There's also another quest here which you can pick up, which I actually didn't. You need to collect 2 medical capsules, It doesn't matter because I'll still collect them. You can pick the quest up after you've got the items. It makes no difference when you hand it in. But you can pick it up now while you're here if you want to. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is to speak to this gate for a live trigger option.
First, we have to figure out what opens this gate.
Wouldn't Atlas be the key?
Bingo. I heard legends that people from centuries past were responsible for building it. But that was in my past. It's still years ahead of this present. My guess is that he's a weapon from your future.
So Atlas definitely doesn't belong in this time. If we can stop him, then maybe we'll find the artifact we need.
Maybe. It's worth a shot at least.
So we need another artifact before we can open this gate, which we will get shortly. Now we're just going to pick up the first capsule which we need for the quest, which I hope you picked up, but I didn't at this point. But like I said, it doesn't matter. Chocolina's there, but she'll have nothing else new to say since we last spoke to her. We just need to head through that west part there, which I figure out in just a moment, I believe.
The army has been gathering intel on the monsters for a long time. Oh, visitors!
Now don't enter the tunnel just yet. If you go just round the side here, you'll find the first capsule. You'll just have to use Mog's new ability to access it. And now we can go inside the tunnel. Just up to the north of us. So back around where we were. Now some of the enemies in this tunnel can be really quite tough, so be prepared to chuck a potion or two, or to switch to Kate Sith in an emergency to heal. Especially the, I think they're called the Hoplites or something. They're like mechanical enemy. They are very tough because they come in groups of 3. Also, keep an eye out for a Pulse Work Knight, because we want to recruit one into the party before we leave this area. It makes a very powerful sentinel, and we can farm the materials in this zone as well to level him up to his maximum level of 20, where he'll have over 2,000 hit points, and at this stage in the game, that's just amazing. So keep an eye out for the Pulse Work Knight. You might have to farm around here for a bit in order to recruit him, because even when you find him, there's no guarantee he'll drop the crystal that you need. But keep at it. Although it's optional, I really recommend that you don't leave the Bresha ruins until you've got a Pulse Work Knight in your party.
So, about Alyssa, you think we can trust her?
It does kind of feel like she's using us, huh? But that's okay. When I was a kid, I knew a guy around the same age. We didn't get along too well. He was always trying to get me to do his share of the work. Then one day he asked me to go hunting with him. I refused. I'd had enough of being bossed around. So he ended up heading out alone. And that was the last time I saw him. If I had just sucked it up and gone hunting with him, he might still be alive.
No.
So, now I just do my best to help out. It's better than dealing with the alternative. That isn't fun.
So I just did a bit of farming here, trying to get that sentinel. If you see this little corridor to the right I've just ran past, we need to go down there for our second medical capsule. And I'm just going to edit out some of this farming that I've done here for that Pulse Work Knight. Okay, so just head down here. I still haven't managed to get that Pulse Work Knight, even though I did quite a bit of farming then, off camera. Okay, so down here and at the bottom is the second medical capsule that we'll need for that side quest.
You see the heat was seen in the tunnel.
There's nothing else to do down this little bit, so we can head straight back up. You probably definitely don't want to be escaping any battles at this moment in the game. We can really do with the CP and also the monster materials. The potent bolts that we're collecting can be used to level up our sentinel once he's been recruited. We'll need about 40 of them in total, of the potent bolts. Again, I'm just going to pause the recording again for a few minutes. I'm just running around the same circle really, farming for this sentinel. And there it is. This is actually about the 5th one that I've encountered. I didn't show you the others because I never got the crystal. So, he spawns usually with a Kate Sith. Kill that first, obviously, because it's a healer. What I've just cast is the Feral Link ability. What that does, it's the monster ability. It does a little bit of damage, brings the chain gauge up, but most importantly, you see that percentage in the top right hand corner? That's how much it increases the chance of dropping the crystal. So the Feral Link's very useful when you're trying to farm a particular monster crystal. Again, stagger the... This is one of those enemies where you stagger and then he just drops like a fly. And there's the crystal. Hopefully by the time you actually get this monster you'd have got quite a few potent bolts so that you can level him up. If not, then just farm for a few before we move on. So I've got quite a few there, as you can see. I'm just going to spend these and level up my new Pulsework Knight in the Crystarium. As you can see, his health's going up quite a bit, which is very useful for a Sentinel. And he has some nice abilities as well that increase his hit points. Okay, and he's just at max level now, level 20. And this will actually be the Sentinel we'll be using throughout probably the first half of the game, at least, of the main game. I'm spending my last few bolts that I've already collected on my Ravager. Although within the next couple of hours we'll actually be recruiting another Ravager who's also very powerful, that will replace this one. And now as well, I'm just going to go into the party paradigms now we've got our new Sentinel and put him into the pack. And I'm going to create just a couple more paradigm decks. So Relentless Assault, we'll still use that as our main paradigm. But I also want to use Delta Attack, which uses our new Pulsework Knight, and he will be the tank. And I'm just going to create a few more paradigms here that, you know, we probably won't actually use, but just for emergency use. Delta Attack and Relentless Assault, they're the two that we really need for the moment. Like I say, I highly recommend that you do recruit this Sentinel at this moment. We have got a boss coming up and it is a lot harder without it. Also, the other quest that we haven't yet done, to kill the named CF, that monster is also very hard, and it's made a lot easier, however, when you have the Sentinel in the group. So before we conclude this video, I'll just point out, if we head up here, we can use Mog's new ability to reveal this treasure chest. Thank you very much, Mog. And on that note, I'll see you next time.